I do not speak for the Black community. They are more than capable of doing that themselves. I'm simply supporting. I also understand, as an Alabama born and bred, raised white woman, that white people cause racism and thoughts like what just came out of your mouth. Therefore, it's up to us to fix it. It's never the fault of the victims to clean up our mess. History is not a singular event. It is cause and effect. It is a ball that is dropped in a bucket of water. You drop the ball in, you have ripples that ripple out throughout history. You lose your job, you have a family at home. Your family didn't lose your job, but your family has to suffer the repercussions of that. So, timeline. 1863, you have the Emancipation Proclamation, which declares slavery as being abolished. Slaves now leave plantations. Since slaves are considered free and these plantation owners have now lost a bunch of free labor, the United States then subsequently pays out millions of dollars of reparations to the plantation owners for their loss of labor, particularly in the southern states where I am, because we were major exporters of goods like sugar and cotton. Fast forward to 1865, and on paper, it looks good. It establishes slavery as being unconstitutional. But there's a very narrow definition of slavery. Slavery just simply means considering somebody your property and forcing them into labor. So simply meaning you can't own anybody. So we see the establishment of the police department. The police department then goes out and starts arresting Black men and women for frivolous and stupid reasons. These Black individuals are now considered wards of the state and can be forced into free labor as part of their rehabilitation, aka legal slavery. We see this today in work release programs in jail systems and like convicts on the side of the road that you see picking up garbage. You also see this because Black men are incarcerated at a rate 5 times higher than their white counterparts. The majority of inmates in our prison systems in the United States are people of color, predominantly Black individuals. When it comes to education, go to a public school system in an affluently white neighborhood or a white part of town, a good part of town, versus a public school that's in the inner city and has mostly BIPOC students. Their resources are simply not the same. Their textbooks are typically out of date, their technology is out of date, their building is falling apart. Literally, I went to an inner city school that had a hole in their gymnasium roof, and the state's not willing to provide the money for it. And the parents don't have the money for it, and the teachers certainly don't have the money for it. Because their education was subpar, when they enter the workforce, they're only able to get jobs that are lesser paying, or typically they get jobs that are lesser paying than their white counterparts. And if they do get a job that pays as much as a white counterpart, they have to work twice as hard to get it. Don't even get me started on the issues that people with ethnic sounding names have on job applications. You have 2 applicants, Caleb and Trayvon. Caleb's probably going to get the job interview first. Or the issues that Black women have voiced hundreds of times that they have in the workplace regarding their hairstyles. Or the police brutality that we see even today in 2023 against Black people. Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and most recently, Tyre Nichols. History is more than just a singular event, and it can affect people for generations. So sit down.
So this lady asks, this Black lady, are white women really that scared of Black women? And I'm going to say yes. And this is my opinion as a white woman who is 53 years old and has lived in the South in Georgia in my entire life. But it's not being scared, but it's a fear. And it's not a physical fear. It is the mental fear. It is what we see in you and what we see you doing and how it challenges us and the fear of that. So we see Black women and we see how strong you are. We see you coming together as a community. We see you supporting each other. We see you supporting your community, supporting your families, supporting your children, going out and fighting for your rights, being authentic in your race and in your femininity. Anyway. And we're jealous. I think we're jealous because we would love to be that, I think, and we don't know how to break out of the indoctrination that we have been suppressed by our entire lives. And I'm not giving white women a pass, don't get me wrong, but I know I and most women have been told, white women have been told our entire lives, be quiet, know your place, be a good girl, don't rock the boat, don't be too much. And when you are any of those things, you are ostracized because you have rocked their boat. And that is what Black women are. You rock our boat, our mental boat, because you challenge us to look at how we are deficient and not living in our truth and it makes us uncomfortable. And people don't like to be uncomfortable. And it makes us start to question ourselves, and people don't like to question themselves. We would rather live in our little bubble of white supremacy and what we know and comfortableness. I know that's not a word. Than a lot of people would, white women would, rather than challenge themselves to grow and know more, because it's easy. Doing the work is hard. It's really hard. I've been doing the work the past several years, and it's hard. It is hard admitting some truths about yourself and some truths about yourself as a white woman. So yeah, I think that white women are scared of black women because you challenge us in that way, and a lot of us don't like it. And that's why we fear you. It's because we fear what you make us face.
One of my weirdest dating stories from Chicago was going on a date with a light-skinned black man who was incredibly racist towards black people. And when I say racist, I mean like I could have been on a date with a KKK member, knowing damn well this man had darker skin. This man was raised by a white mom who would not let him get protective styles because it, quote, looked too ethnic. And she also had Americana decor, which is basically just like black people as decorations around her house. Fucking nightmare fuel. We're on this date and he looks around and he goes, yeah, we don't want to be here too late. There's some really seedy people around here. And I looked at him with my jaw just completely dropped. It was almost entirely black people at this event, which just was a complete coincidence. It was my first time being on a date with somebody who was racist and was a person of color. So I was like, I don't agree. I feel safe. Like, I don't know why you would say something like that. And then he just started to get mad at me for like not seeing the true danger of the situation. The entire situation was really bizarre and I ended up obviously not texting him again. But point being, white moms of mixed kids are really fucking these people up. Like, this is really sad for them to grow up with that sort of hatred of their own skin.
I firmly believe that if we put all white people on one continent, there would be a new class system, a race system that emerged. People would then start discriminating against blonde people, or there would be some sort of class system that's so severe that if you don't come from money, that you're not being helped. Because that's the thing. Someone commented this to be like, oh, well, if we put all the white people on a continent, then crime will disappear. The implication behind this comment is that black and brown people are the ones who are committing crimes, and that's why racism is justified. But in reality, white people have been looking for ways to segregate and separate people for centuries. The concept of a race was invented because there was too much solidarity among workers, and so they wanted to find a way to make white workers feel better than black workers so that they wouldn't be able to unite and essentially unionize against people who were exploiting them, aka the white elite or ruling class. And you still see billionaires today profiting off of our division. If we all organized against them effectively, they would have to pay taxes. We wouldn't allow them to be billionaires in the first place, and yet white people are too busy creating racial division. So yeah, I firmly believe that if all white people were put onto a continent, racism wouldn't go away. It would just change form. So maybe like white people with brown eyes would be discriminated against. It'd be some arbitrary factor.
You want to see the White Woman Tears playbook play out in real time? First things first, everything I'm about to say is totally my own opinion based on my own observations of publicly available information and court documents. A black woman named Brie invented this amazing magnetic hair clip. It is designed to be a low tension clip. It is designed specifically for locks. Another woman named Kirsten Owen allegedly copied her design, mimicked Brie's entire marketing, and when Brie saw this, she was like, hey, what the hell? Spoke up about it. What did Kirsten do? Did Kirsten take accountability? Absolutely no. She's a white woman, remember? We don't take accountability. We have a hard time with that. No, Kirsten started crying victim, saying that Brie is literally bullying her. Enter Keandria. If you guys don't know Keandria, she's a fucking incredible woman. She's a black activist. This woman right here. She saw all of this going down and she's like, hell no. And she spoke up. She went to Brie's defense. And then what happened? Kirsten is suing both of them. Within 6 days, before Brie or Keandria had ever even been served, a federal judge gave a gag order. Even a UCLA law professor flagged that order as constitutionally shaky. Here's something else. I'm talking about this with my 16-year-old. We're looking through Kirsten's shop, and immediately, you know what my 16-year-old says? These all look like knockoffs. They all just look like 3D printed versions of other people's stuff. Allegedly, based on my observations, this is my opinion. But this is what modern colonization looks like, no? The invention is stolen. It's stolen from a black woman. The black woman then gets demonized, is getting demonized by a white woman. The white woman is weaponizing the legal system to silence her. And here's the thing. That court order might have gagged Brie and Keandria, but you know what? Kirsten, you cannot silence me. So I'm going to say your name again. Kirsten Owen, I see what you're doing. We all see what you're doing. Support Brie's business. She's incredible. I'll link it in the comments. Stand with Keandria. Share this story so it doesn't get buried.
Why didn't we listen to Black women. Why did we not listen to them?
So no hate to this creator, because she did acknowledge that she basically didn't give a fuck until she was affected. But I'm going to use her video to make a point. Because over the last week or two, I've been inundated with angry white people mad at me because I said that I'm not going to put my body on the front lines to fight with them. And I stand on that. I said what the fuck I said. But this is the reason that I said it. Because you all lack empathy by default. And not all of you know, but most of you, I would say. The fact that it takes you being affected to make you give a fuck means that human decency is not your natural state. That's crazy to me. I don't have to be a fucking Holocaust victim to know that that shit was wrong. I don't have to be a slave to know that slavery is wrong. Like, I don't have to be affected by shit happening in this country to other demographics to understand that it isn't right. But y'all do. And I don't respect that. Because how the fuck are we supposed to trust y'all, stand with y'all, work with y'all, and you don't give a fuck on a basic level? It takes you actually feeling affected to make you care about other people. Like, this speaks volumes. And then you say, well, why didn't we listen to Black women? You did. You all have heard everything Black women have said. We've been saying the same thing forever. And what have you done? Exactly what you were doing until you were affected. Sitting back, steeped in privilege, enjoying your life and watching everybody else suffer. And this isn't about her, you guys. This is just in general. This is the overall. The overall is that nobody gives a fuck until they're affected. But they expect us to just be on the bandwagon once they decide to care. That's not how shit works. If y'all really give a fuck, you guys hold the power. You should be out in the streets. You should be, the way you guys act like Karens towards all of us, that's how you guys should be acting towards the politicians. That's what you should be doing to change shit in this country if you really care. But you guys know you benefit from your skin color. You know that you've never had to fight the way everybody else has had to fight, and your mediocrity will fail you if you have to compete with people who've been oppressed, because it's just made everybody else stronger. But what does losing look like to y'all? Because you guys act like you're scared to lose. What exactly are you losing? What do you think what happened? There's already more Black and brown type of people in the world than white folks. If we wanted to do some shit, we would have been and done it. We haven't. Because we're not like y'all. We're different. We don't hate by default. We're family people. We're familial. Y'all are not. So there's nothing to fear in that aspect, but maybe there should be. I don't know. But there's nothing to fear. We've never made a threat to